This has been helping me. I hopefully it's been helping you guys. Let's go over what we feel the market sentiment was for the past week, and then we can confirm it through data points. JJ, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically pretty weak, I guess. Nothing really crazy. Can't even think. I mean, I also wasn't at the desk for too much of it, but I don't really remember any crazy runners. Maybe there was one or two. I don't know. Arsalan probably knows better than me.
Okay.
But I just feels like it's been weak, not a ton of action.
Yeah, just a lot of subbies I've noticed.
Push and fade, bullish, or
It's neutral to bullish. I mean, neutral to weak, I would say, because there are times where a subby will kind of just take off, but so far it's been good fades. Like SXRH was the one that I traded on Friday.
Okay, so your thought process is that it's a bit bearish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have same thought process on that. I think it started when the XPON and there was another name that came. They pushed and faded. Since then, I have been bearish. I'm jumping a little bit, but I think moving next week, if we have a lot of gappers, I think the odds of fade is there, and we should increase our risk to much more. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on market sentiment. That's weird. Okay, biggest opportunities.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at all these past gappers. Was there any like big runner that just like that's even like still hanging around or no?
We can see right now. Let me pop this one. So these are the names that had a 60% gap or higher. BSLK, ATNF. I think ATNF is a midday runner, but I'll check as my thinkorswim loads. MNTS.
Well, ATNF was like a 2-day mover, faded on the second day though.
Really?
Yeah.
Day 2, but it had a PR, I believe, that came out, or it had a push in the morning that kind of went from 10 to 18.
No, but if you look all the way back, this thing was like 80 cents. So it started as like 89 cents.
Yeah, well, it was one of those crypto plays that was up, and you don't really know why it's still hanging around. And then they released the treasury.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, wait a minute. No. It was up and it was hanging around. Then they released the treasury news, and then it actually didn't do very much. And then Peter Thiel filed the 13G, and then that's when it made the big move. And then in the day 2.
Yeah, I think. So what's hanging around? I honestly think that
BTAI came back a little bit on Friday.
Yeah, I'm expecting data on BTAI next week. I think the 20th is the day that's a significant date. If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check.
Yeah. Well, they still have data. They still have phase 3 data, and then they have them meeting with the FDA on the 20th.
I think Martin was saying that it would set up like IXHL.
the treasury news I think is there to stay, and also I might be a bit weird for saying, but I think BMNR has some potential. Like that guy Tommy Lee, super famous, and I was gonna literally buy like leaps when the stock was super duper, because he bought, ARC person bought, and I think a bunch of other famous people have been buying BMNR. Peter Thiel I think bought like 9.9%, but now it's at like 50-60. So I think that theme is there to stay, which makes the case very interesting to have crypto exposure for our personal net worth. I'm gonna try and put like 10, 15, 20% of my net worth into it, but just as like a cash reserve, and see if I can stake it, given it's halal, blah blah blah. But also it makes me wonder, like, why are people investing in BMNR? Do you think, JJ, because they could be BMNR could be doing like projects? You know how you could, like, they could be funding, as weird as it sounds, I think this is actually, you're shorting the currency and buying crypto by participating in BMNR, because what they're doing is they're issuing shares and diluting and buying crypto. So it's almost like you're short currency and then you're buying crypto, but it also is reducing the supply of crypto a bit. So how do you beat the crypto market, the normal price, is if hypothetically you were to give some sort of do projects to, but I'm not a super crypto person, but I think that's might be happening. But overall, from price action wise, I think that sector has not washed and has held its strength.
Yeah, in hindsight, I wish I would have just been buying more crypto, because all these companies are just buying up. They're just buying BTC and Ethereum. Like, obvious, like, of course, now in hindsight, obviously it was going to go up, but didn't really think about it like that.
I think we're still in the early stages, bro. If it dips into like I used to really dislike when people used EMA because I'm like, yo, that's such a newbie thing. But if you have institutional buying it, they're not gonna wait until it like goes all the way down to the floor. It's not like I am gonna buy Ethereum and Solana once it hits like on the pullbacks near the EMAs, right? And it's a long-term investment regardless. But anytime it dips, in the next 6 months, I'm probably gonna consistently buy. And if I'm really, really wise and smart, I need to have it so that like maybe 2% of what I earn constantly just monthly goes into it directly every month. Or ideally it goes there and then I buy on the red days. I don't know how that would work, but automating it would be really good. We haven't missed the boat. We haven't missed the boat, I don't think.
Why not just buy BMNR instead of Ethereum?
That's the thing. That's the question, I think. That's a very good question. That's
what Kathy's doing.
Yeah, Kathy Wood is doing that.
And a lot of others.
Exactly. Peter Thiel and this. So I was gonna, when the stock was at like 30, I was gonna buy Leap's options of $60, and I probably would be up 1,000%. But I'm very lucky, alhamdulillah. On UNH, I longed on the liquidity event on the daily breakout. Right now, I'm up 1,200% on those calls, which is crazy. Crazy. This is like a big market cap. I will buy. I think I'll buy options, JJ, on BMNR on the dips. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. I was thinking a lot about it for UNH and for BMNR. I'm gonna sell puts because time decay is the worst thing. I'm gonna sell puts where like the support is on the daily, on the like basically the lowest low. So even if the stock dips, my time decay is gonna be in my favor. And also if the stock goes sideways, my calls are not gonna decay the heck out. I'm still buying it 1 year out, but that's what I did with Baba, and alhamdulillah I did really, really well. I think Baba I was long at 82, 83, same failed breakdown liquidity event, and I was buying and I sold at 130. I was risking $2, and to my surprise, like the net, it went $50 in favor. That was a really, really good win. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. Let's not get super distracted. Let's go back in here. So the next step. Wait, is there anything else you guys want to bring up, or?
Not really.
Okay, so let's go to the tickers. XPON. So the variables that I use is this 60% gap volume, and then if you guys want me to change it, and the date I put since last week. Again, same old thing. I'm trying to see how it fades, what it does. This is my favorite setup, and this is Ben's entry. Oh, never mind. Shouldn't say that. But this is my favorite setup because it's reverse. Even without the offering, I think it's a reverse short squeeze. Longs that are bagged will potentially have to sell, and you can tear into it. That's my favorite. That's why it's my favorite. So this one here, I think you gotta risk high the day. Else, whenever market sideways, it does liquidity events. Interesting. PMNT.
Does it show the ticker on the chart, or am I missing? Oh, I see it in the upper and the top.
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a lot of range. See a lot of sideways action, which is a good thing, to be honest, because I think past 2 weeks has been really tough as well. ATNF was squeezed and PSLK squeezed. Honestly, Mondays are, because everybody's ecstatic, but I'm gonna say personally it's pretty bearish for me.
Yeah, I mean the only one so now I was trying to think of the one that actually did something, and now I remember it was BSLK, but that was the one that actually I thought that might spark a little bit more action, but it didn't really.
I guess I don't have a lot of indicators, by the way, so if you guys are looking at this and you're like, what the hell, there's so many indicators. This is just like old stuff that I'm too lazy to remove. That's interesting. I thought this was gonna squeeze into new highs, but it faded. I suppose we could have shorted in here, secondary leg. So best opportunity. So what are we doing here? Biggest opportunity. So I can go, what was the biggest opportunity? And the biggest mover is dollar move percent. Doesn't have any smoke up, and future upcoming. Okay. I think XPON. The reason why I liked XPON a lot is the week prior was actually pretty bullish. I don't know if you guys remember, and then XPON and then TRIB. Both of these names had a similar behavior, where at around 10, 11 faded. This is a tougher one, but this is my best opportunity. And the reason why I like this is because there's not a lot of, you could argue shorts could be trapped in here or in here, but I think there's not many shorts trapped. So this is all just longs. Oh yeah, BSLK. That's why. Yes. So this is like I think failed replication concept in my head of something like this, because this happened before 2 days, 3 days. So you had ATNF that had a midday runner, and all the longs made money. And the same thing the next day, where it just squeezed much harder. And then when everybody tried to do the same thing on a third day, so 12th, 13th, 14th, this is beautiful, sexy. This is an A++ setup, best opportunity for me. At what point would this be a non-A+ setup? Would be if shorts had trapped. In my opinion, I like this one less, because one could argue that, you know, shorts are involved because of this, and this was a short squeeze, so it could have bounced off of this or off of this. But yeah, that's my best opportunity. And
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it was up like 400% at its highs. Lots of range on XPON.
Yeah, it had the fundamental catalyst. It developed pretty much the same way as the September chart, which same warrant guys involved too. So that actually, the way it moved into 1030, it made me more, because usually I often will like avoid these ones, but the way it was developing was like pretty much exactly the same as the September move.
one thing else that I really liked, not tooting my own horn by any means at all, I think there's a when somebody's traded for a really long time, they know, regardless of how much the stock has washed, when to add, when not to add. So I really was very happy to see that a few people, like they were short and they added to short, but at the same time they added in here. This kind of goes into the indication that somebody's, they're thinking correctly, because everybody's bagged. The first thought process would be to cover, but realistically, whatever shares you have, I think it's very safe to add 20%, 30% of whatever you have in here at the auction or down here, versus in this or versus that on an offering. Like, why would you cover into first people panic? The odds of rebounds, from my experience, only happens when the offering amount is much lower. I guess it could be a bit hindsight, because the volume was 300 million and the shares were not allowed, but the share price was at like 124 or something, if I remember correctly, and all these people were potentially bagged. So I think this may be a small minor difference, but it's a big difference that we need to do stuff like this. Or if this bounced to like 275, instead of panic covering, given that it's a bit heavy, definitely need to add like a 1R, 2R. This could be 0.2R or whatever, but up here or somewhere here, if it gets heavy or comes to the other side of it, definitely need to 1R, 2R versus this. Yeah, I think a lot of people had the record day, by the way, in XPON, which was very, very happy to see. Very happy to see. Record day of their whole career.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, it was that obvious, huh? I mean, I know it was good, but
I think just the concept of like letting winners run. But I'm very, very happy as a team. So this is the second time that it has happened, and it has genuinely made me very, very happy. As you guys know, somebody else hit their record career P&L with the 84R, and this other person hit it.
that was Lucas, right?
Yeah. Okay. So what were we saying? We were saying best opportunity is XPON. Was there anything else?
I have a question. For when those type of opportunities come, like when Ben took on that much size, is he normally restricted on how much his position value is, or does he kind of just realize, okay, this is the one, and then he kind of like puts more size in? Is there like a process he goes through to kind of discuss with you if he can throw on more risk or anything like that?
No, he was within his risk parameters. But my goal is to actually help traders improve and never to be an obstacle in their way. So if anytime, like given that you're not adding to a loser or it's not a red, anytime any person says, hey, I think this is an A++ opportunity, I want to put on more risk, I could happily do that.
It's like instant type thing, because I can see Lucas
Yeah.
probably did that for that 84R
Yes, Lucas to do that, yeah. Yeah, it's an instant process thing. You just message inbox and I'll be like, yo, you want this much XMO buying power, this much this? I say, yeah, sure. As long as, just verifying it's not to a losing position, because sometimes when we're in a loss, we feel like, oh my God, I just top ticked it. I don't want to FOMO. I don't want to miss out. That's a very different conversation than like,
Definitely.
hey, I'm in the money, like 5R, 10R, but I think offering could be coming, or a reduction, something could be coming. Usually you don't want to hold after hours, but like even if it's a midday at the start, if you're like, this is a really good opportunity, has a lot of dilution, low cash, I want to put on, I'll be like, fuck yeah, let's go. Okay.
Okay, good.
Any other missed opportunities that you guys think would be really good? That was good. JJ?
Can't give any. But
On
yeah.
Friday, there was ADN, but that was intraday parabolic, so I don't know how I would gauge that in terms of grading. I'm trying to give those lower grades now so I can kind of cut back on the losses. But ADN was okay. I mean, I think it was a multi-tier runner. That's what made it like a better setup than what I originally thought.
ADN.
Yeah,
Let's see if this pops it open.
because I got in and then I just kind of got out for no reason on it.
Oh, there you go. Found it. Oh, how do you short this safely though? Who do you
When
know?
it hit VWAP, I got short, and I think if I just held, like, it didn't go against me or anything. This is my chart. I'll just share it.
But how do you
but-
avoid this? Because this is a liquidity event. This looks like it would have failed.
Sorry, one second. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, how do you avoid this?
It didn't even come on my scan until it kind of had the volume come in on the push towards like 5+, and then that's when I saw it.
Why? What
And
filters do you have that avoided the front side?
I think of the volume. I'm pretty sure it was volume. I'll check again, but I don't think it had enough volume for me. And then the percentage, because I only get stocks that are up a certain percentage. But I'm not sure if that's the case. It might be the volume.
Is the volume like a dollar, like a certain dollar amount, or is it more like acceleration of volume? The volume has to be 3x and spiking.
Pull up my trade ideas and actually see this. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know why it came up on my scan at that time, but I'm trying to trade less of these type of plays. That's why I just instantly got in, and I'm like, okay, like this is not something I want to be doing much more of. I want to do less of this.
Okay. So in summary, you don't know how we can avoid the front entry like this.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I don't really have any criteria other than percentage, but that's not on here. My volume criteria for intraday is like 100,000, but I'm pretty sure this was more than that.
Is your criteria same as Adnan's, or Adnan just does everything manually?
I haven't talked to Adnan about his criteria, actually. Maybe I should. I don't know if he would share that, but if he's willing to talk about it, I think I should shoot him a message and see.
He just shorts anything that pops up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's his criteria. I don't know. I've never asked him either, but
But
it
you-
seems like he just
Instead of inbox,
pops up on short.
ask him at the open, not at Sunday recap, but at like pre-market. Like, yo, I'm trying to be better at midday runners. But he's
Oh, like
very
voice,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, on voice or even on pre-market room, because I'd be interested to. He told me that he has a scanner and asked that anytime something hits a new high of the day above 40%, he just takes a look and then he looks for price action and he puts it on radar.
Okay. Does he have any systematic elements on his in his process, or is it just all based on what you just told me?
I don't think he has any systematic approach. He's very talented, hard worker, and it's very shocking because the first time I heard, I couldn't stop laughing. He was probably weirded out because I asked him, I'm like, yo, do you read the tape? Do you do dilution? He's like, no, man, I don't do dilution. I don't watch the tape. I don't even watch level 2. What the heck? He's like, yeah.
I didn't know those things. I mean, I know he's just really good at reading the chart and like the structure and stuff like that, and like really good at timing entries. I didn't know that he didn't even use the level 2. I mean, he has the montage up, obviously, right?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what was my reaction. I was laughing, and I think I made him feel a bit rightfully so, because to him it's like, yo, what's going on?
I mean, dude, less is more a lot of the time, you know.
Yeah. That really engraved in my head. But he's a very hard worker, man. He's like,
I mean, I
always
probably
like
don't
to-
even need I probably don't need the time and sales either, to be honest. If anything, like it kind of psychs me out sometimes. At least when I'm already in a trade.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I've always said, JJ, your executions, like your strategy, your stock selection is amazing. As bad
It
as
probably
it
do
sounds.
me well to just get in and then like turn off the chart in a level 2 and just like not look at it anymore.
Yeah, and if you were to
stock.
be on a bigger time frame, to be honest, I don't know what time frame you watch, but if you were to be on like a 15-minute time frame, JJ, I think you would do phenomenal because you wouldn't get worked out. Okay, what's interesting in here is always these midday runners have a lot more. So there was 9 gappers, but there's 27 midday runners, and the variables I put is only stock less than 59%. So if we wanted a lot more quantity, We could always have this. See what does the stats say. I bet we could find a long strategy from this because 27 tickers in a day and they're closing at 51% of the times. That's crazy.
How are they performing heading into day two? It says 50% average close rate. Okay.
So pushes into
it gives
11, 11:30. Let me see median average. Let's just chop fast. Yeah, first leg, second leg. I think we could probably make a long strategy out of this when I have enough brain power, brain cells. Okay, ADHD, I'm getting distracted. So, biggest opportunities for the day, I'm looking through the longs. Let me know if you guys, the goal of this is to spot out behaviors and patterns. And they genuinely matter, to be very, very fair, in my honest opinion. Because if you spot something that this is happening consistently, you could either play failed replication off of it, be like, hey, seen this exact same move, or you could play the continuation. BTAI pushes off into the open, into the close, sorry. RMBL, Rumble, knockout. Yeah, a lot of midday runners, I guess, have their strength. Well, no, that's because I've said sort of BTAI. Okay. Nothing sticks out to me. Does anything stick out to you guys?
Nothing price action wise. Just the price of the stocks being more sub dollars is all I've noticed.
So sub dollars are a lot more active.
In my opinion, I gotta run the stats on this if I can make a conclusive statement. So far, what I've noticed, let's see, buckets. I would say this seems right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, 40-50%. They've been fading. 40-50% stock capital. That's crazy. Oh, that's because of this limitation. I don't know. That's biased. Okay. So the best setup for me so far. So going over biggest opportunity was XPON. I think we all agree upon that. Best future upcoming trades or actionable steps and setups that have worked in the past week, and then net takeaway. I can start. I will go back to the 60% gapper. What the heck? Only two? So there's 9 gappers. So the question is future upcoming trades, actionable steps, setups that have worked and that are continuing to work. I am gonna play.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the main one that I'm looking for, a bit of a failed replication would be something like this. Sometimes can start off a bit off the open. So if it pushes off, Monday is usually a lot of people get excited. I haven't fully sat down and did if this Monday theory is true. But if everybody's excited to short and squeeze, I'll just be a bit cautious of it. But if there's no short trap and I see something like this and it invalidates the structure below the previous high, I will put on a heavier risk in here when the structure becomes invalidated. And then once it becomes below VWAP, I will for sure add another 1R, 2R below VWAP, risking this. So here and here, this is for me, perfect short would be here or here, risking this 1R, 2R. And then if it's below VWAP in here, then I'm risking another 1R, 2R versus this. So this is my favorite setup going into next week, given we're bearish. Another variable that I'm watching out for, and I'm gonna see if I have the guts and balls to do this. If I see 4 or 5 gappers, all of them are 80%, 60%, 90%, something like the higher gappers, I'm gonna try to risk like 1.5 to 2R off the open, given there's some sort of a structure risk. So I'm gonna wait for some price action. But then each one of these I'm gonna risk. Instead of risking 0.5R, I'm gonna risk 1R, 2R. The reason for that is we need to be able to capitalize on this aspect here. So this is, like, imagine this is where we're at. This is my opinion. This is where we're at. And then all these bullish people are gonna give us more range. So rather than the fade, I'm watching these lines. So you see the line 1, line 2. Ignore the fact that it says 2%. But the point is when it fades 3 bars. 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar. So I think it's critical to have more risk as market sentiment shifts. I'm gonna write that down so I hold myself accountable. Critical to increase risk as market sentiment shifts. Bearish. Must risk 1.5 to 2R, 1.5R plus if multiple gappers plus 7%, or my favorite setup of reverse short squeeze because it will have range. So that is my thought process on upcoming futures, actionable steps, the step that has worked in the past, and I have realized I have a bad addiction to this, and you guys should not follow suit, but I am addicted to It's sad. It's like a drug. So quantum sector is something I covered a lot of it in the past few days. What's the other one? RGTI, QBTS. Oh yes, I don't know. There's another one. QBTS.
QUBT,
No, another one.
IONQ.
Yeah, IONQ. So this is a really good one. This was my favorite one. What they did is they announced their dilution, but unfortunately they cannot sell it. I don't know if JJ looked into this. This is a very interesting one. So I actually mentioned it last week. So I did really well on this. Last recap, I said IONQ, they were able to register 13.2 million shares. And you know how I talked about last time that BMNR and all these guys, when they need to dump shares, they create a liquidity event? Do you guys remember? Do you remember how we talked about if somebody needs to dump a lot of shares, the job of a market maker is not to sell shares, but to create liquidity, and how they like cause a squeeze and then they dump?
Yeah.
So exact same thing happened here. So these guys, right before they announced that they registered the 13.2 million shares. So they need like 130 million shares. They had this big squeeze out above these levels. I took my stop. My stop was at like 43 or 42 something. And then once I saw this, and then the next day that they were gonna sell 13 million shares. Unfortunately, they can only sell 45% of that because of a lockup expiry, and maybe JJ can speak on that if he looked. But really good risk reward. I think I reshorted back 45, 44, 50, 60, whatever it was, versus the high. And then it had a nice fade. So like 521, 61. But I covered most of it last Friday. So that's another opportunity that I'm keeping an eye on, but it's not so amazing. But yeah, if they're below EMAs, if all these names are below, so these are the lines that I drew, as weird as that sounds. So these are structures where I think it would be bearish. So if if 1525 becomes resistance, like if it washes down here and then comes back up, then I'll be like, okay, everybody's bagged. And if it's below this level, if it's touching it, I'll cover. If it gets below, and my plan is to swing these names. And then for this one, if it goes into volume profile, I would be looking to short. Same concept. Goes here, probably be risking this or something. And then what's my net takeaway from today is that I think we're basically on a bearish cycle. On if Monday be a bit easy, Tuesday if it's bearish, need to put on risk. That's it. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can go.
Okay.
I think the best opportunity coming up is BTAI. Kind of like similar to IXHL. I think it might do the same thing, halt, and then news comes out, push, kind of fade, since this move is kind of holding up on low volume. So I think that's the biggest opportunity, and the future upcoming trade.
Wait, what levels are you looking to short, or is there? How are you?
Nothing in particular, because once that catalyst comes out, it'll halt the stock. Because we've been seeing a lot of that, but I'm not entirely sure if that's gonna happen. But I think they're doing that because they're getting results, so I can see it continuing.
Okay.
But where are we at right now? We are trading the stock at around 550. Okay, yeah, it looks good. It's holding up.
After hours, it pushed to like 640.
It was at 6. Be nice if it gaps over the daily highs and then wicks there and has a red candle. Okay.
So other than that, I just look at gappers for setups that have worked the past few days. Pattern replication on XPON, where you get almost like a squeeze and then failed structure, like you just explained, and just gonna focus on that and eliminate everything else. Kind of is what I'm looking to do this week.
Awesome. Net summary from today. Anything stuck out?
Once you showed me that flash market sentiment thing, it actually was very interesting. It actually validated the bearish thesis that everybody was talking about. So I'm looking forward to putting on more risk and capitalizing off it. I think you're right.
Awesome. If we're wrong, we can blame JJ. If we're right, we can say I was right. Okay, brother JJ.
My turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me.
What are we looking at? I'm watching BTAI too. The timing's gonna be important on that one because just like with IXHL, I don't really want to touch it until they do release something, and hopefully they put out an ATM because I don't think they've done that yet. Actually, that's pretty much it. The only other one that I've been watching for a long time is PSTV. I've just been waiting for this one to gap up because they have this new equity line that's all primed to use, and they have to use it. I was actually long, but now it's little too dangerous to be long now because they have some. Well, they had some compliance issues that they fixed. So, but that's another one that I'm watching. That's kind of like IXHL. Also like this big trade I had back in 2023 ICU, which is setting up the exact same way. So hopefully it gaps on news or something.
Can you guys expand on BTAI? Why are you guys so bearish? Is it a biotech? I should know.
Yeah, so like it's been moving up into these catalysts. They have this phase 3 trial data, and then they have this meeting with the FDA on the 20th. So it's been moving into that, right? So it's kind of like a sell the news setup, and then also they are over baby shelf now. So if they put out a fat ATM, they'll probably unload it into a big gap. So it's a nice setup, like IXHL.
But if the phase
Which
3 data
also
is good,
was
the ATM is going to be eaten up and it's going to continue higher, no? How's that work?
Not necessarily. I mean, obviously, I like it better when it's not later stage stuff. But the thing about good news is that like the day one gap can still fade, but you'll get something like TNXP, for example, where it'll fade big on the news and then it'll come back in later days. But we don't really care about what happens after the gap day. You know, we just care about playing it on the sell the news day. But yeah, it certainly could be a longer term buy. I don't know, but I just think that it's going to be a gap and fade on any announcement.
Actually, I think I take back what I said. I think that's the best. I take back what I said. It makes more sense to be short, especially if it's an ATM. If it's a phase 3 and a strong offering, that's what I was kind of like my brain gravitated towards. Like if it was that, then
if anything, yeah, if anything, like any funds would they want it to go lower by a lower price.
Yeah, but if the phase 3 came out and they did an offering and it was strongly priced, I think that's the only time that I would avoid it. Now you guys got me interested in BTAI. If it
the other thing too is it's pretty easy to tell quickly if they're not using the ATM. Like if it doesn't fail by 10 and be under VWAP by 10, then I have no interest in it, because if they're not selling the ATM, then yeah, it could mean that they're doing it like an offering, and even a good priced offering if they're not using ATM. But if they're using the ATM, it shouldn't be able to hold over VWAP very long.
Yeah, they don't have an ATM at the moment, right?
They don't, no. Which surprised me that they hadn't put one out yet. But
yeah,
that would be,
they love the ATM.
that would be a requirement for me. Like there would need to be an ATM there for me to be interested in it, because right now there isn't.
Okay.
I don't think.
So a scenario, I'm just playing this out. You guys tell me if you guys would do something similar. If this hypothetically gaps up to 7 or even perfectly like above 8, let's just say tomorrow after above 8, it gaps up 850, and then we see weakness off the open, definitely at above 8. And if it's closes weak and it's going lower, like 850, and it closes below 816, I would love that short. Hold it even into after hours or cover a little bit into the close with the hopes of an ATM announcement. That's the perfect scenario. I'm just making this because I just got interested in a few minutes ago. The second scenario, if it gaps up into like 650, 7, and it kind of fades, I think that'd be like a B setup. And just
the other thing too is, obviously the bigger the gap, the better. But IXHL didn't even gap that much, right? Remember, IXHL gap was like not even that much, right? But it still offered a really nice fade.
This one?
Yeah, you see the gap. The gap wasn't even that big.
Okay, so I think so the high was 127. Yeah, so it just cleared it up. Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So now the secondary play would be as if this opens above like 650 is 7, which is around here. If it gets weak, okay, I'll keep an eye. You guys have convinced me. VTAI.
I'm trying to see where it came from. It came from a very low price as well, and the volume on it, like I want to short it when the volume's kind of churning, so I know, like, because I just didn't like the way it was trading the other day when it faded from 7 to 5, I think, or 4, and it was a good fade, but it traded not much, and it was kind of like skippy and jumpy, and I'm not sure if you guys looking at that when you're looking at short, but it just didn't seem right. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's just hard to want to trade it with these catalysts looming. Like I don't want to halt on me, and
And honestly, the one thing to avoid, the two things is for me, phase 3 and merger news. That stuff is very, very. You don't want to swing short when that stuff is coming.
Yeah.
Did you guys see TNXP at all on Friday? It had a catalyst and then it kind of opened up after hours.
Yeah, that one was weird. Was that real? Did it really go from 65 to $14?
Oh, it did? I didn't even see that. All I know is that named everything.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's real. I mean, I'm looking at it on Thinkorswim, so I guess it must be real. But it dropped from $60 to 14, and then popped back up to 50.
I think they have a call, and Monday morning they have a call. Let me look more into that. But there's a catalyst, or there's a reason why it might be holding up.
Well, yeah, they got the FDA approval or whatever. I think that's why it spiked after hours. But
No way. This is the good old toxic company, man.
well, not anymore. It's like it's one of those companies that's made it. They have like a commercial drug now, so it's like for all intents and purposes, it's a real company now.
No way. Yo, the CEO banked. The CEO gave it so much money. Because it gave it preferred convertibles and all that stuff. Damn. So really, wow. So did you look into the dilution and valuation, JJ?
No, I mean I'm not really interested in it anymore because I don't trade real companies. It's a real company now. Like it has a real legit approved drug.
I'm gonna miss this company. What the heck? If you guys made it this far, that means you liked it, you enjoyed it. I hope this was useful, beneficial. Feel free to write in the comments what you want. And also, if you are a trader that has made 7 figures in one point in your career, 7 figures profit, and you want to see if we're a good fit, shoot me a DM and Do Good Capital Twitter handle. If somebody approaches you, just don't get scammed. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. I hope this is useful. Share it with somebody you think that would benefit from it. And thank you very much.